Toyota Winners Lounge. The Avs went Bigfoot hunting, and they may just have found their Yeti in nets. This is the DNVR Avalanche post-game show, powered by your front-range Toyota dealerships and brought to you by Bet365. Big E and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs win 5-2 over the Nashville Predators. In a game that was a bit up and down, but the steady Yeti in net, Mackenzie Blackwood, was a rock tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. In his debut, still rocking the San Jose helmet, still rocking the San Jose stick, but boy, did he look good back there.
Stabilized everything, especially in the first period. Not that they were the toughest of chances, but we always say it. If you can make the saves you're supposed to make, and then some. That's exactly what he did in the first period. The Avalanche did not have their best first period. And what was the end result after one? It was 0-0. So you're not chasing the game. We all know they're under the weather. Next thing you know, solid goaltending will give you the chance to get you win, to get your game from underneath you a little bit. And we all know Makar, Rantanen, MacKinnon, guys like that. And again, we always forget about Middlestat, Natushkin. All of a sudden, they're the ones, Middlestat to Colton, that make a play to get the Avalanche ahead and never look back and then just don't have to chase a game. If you don't have to chase a game and to win in the playoffs, you're going to have to chase games because you're going to be from behind sometimes. That's not what we're saying. But
the Avs have done plenty of that. We know they can do that.
I was going to say, right now, how about we just get ahead like they've been doing lately, and you never look back. And when you get goaltending, you never have to look back. It got tight a little bit, but you know what? I was never nervous.
I don't know if we still don't really do the 60-second rundown anymore, but a quick rundown of the game. Honestly, I think the first period was more even than people get it for credit for. I don't think it's as bad as people saw. Not that it was good. Second period was not good possession-wise. The Avs actually got caved, but what did they do that Nashville didn't? They finished on their chances. The Avs pick up 2 goals in the second period. Ross Colton and Nathan MacKinnon, the finishers there. And then in the third period, they get one early from Arturi Lehkonen to make it 3-0, which secured the game. Not great. Halfway through the third, things did get a bit squirrely, as I like to say, for the Avs. They do give up 2 goals, but ultimately that 3-goal lead gave them the cushion they needed, and they buried the game with the empty net, picking up 2 more. We'll talk about Blackwood a little bit later. Eric, is this job done? Good job? Or do the Avs deserve a little bit extra credit for it being a flu game?
I think it's, again, we haven't heard Coach talk. You know, I think he's going to say it. That last game took a lot out of you, even though, you know, it wasn't. And again, by the way, that game's a race now, like you talked about.
Yep.
All that matters is you get a W tonight, and that last game's a race. So here you go, W, game erased. But it took a lot out of them. And then yesterday, they had that children's hospital visit, and you know they didn't really step on the ice. They didn't really practice, like he talked about this morning. Meaning, Coach tried to get the guys as rested as possible, and then you're playing another game today. And when you're under the weather, it's again, it's a lot. It's not normal, and then that's why I say today, at the end of the day, goaltending's part of your team. They gave the goalie the lead that he needed, and the goalie gave them the chance to go ahead by keeping it tight and by keeping it at 0.
Yep.
And then, so you call that a marriage, and it's very important that both are on the same page. And I think both are on the same page in that sense of the word, you know? So yeah, well done. Big win. You can you can just pack your underwear that hopefully you washed the last couple days. Then you're leaving again for, 4 or 5 days. So say hi to little Billy, little Frankie, little Susie, the kids, and
Pack your bags,
bag.
buddy.
But Daddy will be back in another 5 days. You know what I mean? It's a tough stretch.
Yeah.
It's a tough stretch.
Definitely is a lot of moving and shaking right now. But if we kind of go at least semi-chronologically here, you go back to that first period. What did you see in that one? Because, look, I get it. The Avs get outpossessed. They get outshot. But realistically, they didn't give up a ton dangerous. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but maybe it gave Blackwood a little bit of something he's used to, facing a lot of shots tonight.
I think, listen, that's his first game. Yeah, the trade happened 4, 5, 6 days, whatever it was. And we all know he was under the weather. We all know the team was on the run. He didn't get a chance to get in the net till tonight. Yeah, he backed up the other night, Wedgwood. The Wood brothers, the Bash brothers were going at it now in the net. But adrenaline is kicking. You're excited. You want to put on a good show. You know the guys are under the weather, as you were yourself. You want to show your bosses that they were right, for believing in that you can be an answer in the net. You want to show the rest of your teammates that you are the real deal. Then you feel you're a real deal, and you feel that you can be the guy going down the stretch to go chase that silver thing. So I think the best period, the best scenario, I was joking during the watch along, was the Avalanche to give up a lot of shots. And I think it was mission accomplished that way. Because if you're so excited and your adrenaline's kicking in, you're not getting any shots, like, it's tough. It's tough for a goalie. So I think that somehow, the hockey gods or the bounces were with the Avalanche in that sense. Let the guy get some shots. Let the guy feel good about his game. And I think it just translated to the rest of the game, especially, towards the end of the first period and then the second period and the third period just kept going. Obviously, you got beat twice, but, again, you give up 40 shots, whatever, 40 shots, whatever it was. It's a job well done. It's a success. Mission accomplished as his first game wearing the Avalanche logo.
No doubt. And the Avs ultimately got the job done tonight. I don't think you should be happy with the way they played for the first 30 minutes of this game. They did get, in some senses, dominated at 5-on-5. But when you get a good goaltending performance, if you have a down stretch of hockey, especially with a team as talented as the Avalanche are, you can get yourself not just right back in it, but a lead extremely quickly. And it's great to see that coming from the second line.
I think you nailed it on the head there. Coming from a line that, it's hard to explain. The top line's going to be expected to score. And again,
they got there, yeah.
They got 3, right? Whatever it was, 4, 3, 4.
2 with the goalie in that. How about that?
Yeah. They did their job.
Yeah.
And when you're a secondary, tier, but you're a top 6, but not the top line, you should be able to get results. You should be able to help out on a regular basis, especially when you have guys like tonight, Val and who's playing with it? Colton.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's the one that gets
Casey,
to that.
yeah.
And I think Casey was a great play. Casey, he's slippery. He slips from behind that D there, meaning not from behind, but he shimmy shuffles them. The D
Finds
gets on
just enough of a gap.
enough, and then the guy's on the wrong side of the puck, and then I do believe, and I'll say it again, he's the best player the Avalanche have below the goal line. He's the guy that has the most vision. He's the guy that can thread the needle but I think Ross Colton, when he scores, he can tell. He's like, yep, that's you right there. That's your game. And then Ross has been hot all year.
Yep.
And it just shows you what a guy like that can bring to a lineup. And Tiff thinks he's very good looking, and we all tend to agree. And but it's nice to see that on a 0-0 game, you get the ice broken, by your line that you expect, what I mean, to help out the big fellas. And I think the big fellas go to work after that one.
You had a goal from Ross Colton and 2 goals from Arturi Lehkonen ultimately in this game. We'll talk more about at least Lehkonen specifically later, but that puts the Avs at 4 different players with at least 10 goals on the season. And when you consider that that was only game 20 of the season for Lecky and only game 15 of the season for Ross Colton.
That's crazy.
Their guys surrounding the superstars of MacKinnon and Rantanen, when healthy, are scoring at a pretty darn good pace.
And Druin should be in that, maybe not goal-wise, but would help in that production. You know
He's only played 5 games this year.
That's my point. You know, and if he would have been in there, you might have had even bigger numbers than that, because we all know that he produces, and he produced last year, was expected to produce even more this year, just hasn't been healthy.
Yep.
And I think you would see some numbers like you're seeing with Lecky, maybe not on the goal side of things, but probably on the points side of things, you know, where, you know, I think the numbers would be there for Joe Druin. So, yeah, it's even more remarkable with all the time that's been missing, games that have been missing for those types of players that, you know, you're looking at numbers like that for Lehkonen and even Val. I mean, man, Val's got decent numbers.
Yep, 7 goals in 15 games.
I mean,
as well.
that's, you know, again, that's play 15 games. You miss 15 games, 16 games, whatever. This is game 30.
This is 32. So
32.
he missed 17.
17. So, yeah, it's once all healthy, once everybody there, and again, you might never get there. Well, like we talk about, who knows?
Yeah.
But as it stands, when you look at a lineup like this, if you're getting saves, I think you can beat and you can win any given night.
That's exactly when you have Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Ross Colton, Arturi Lehkonen, Val Nichushkin, Casey Middlestat. Oh, by the way, Cale Makar. If your goalie keeps the game at zeros, that team will score eventually. They're too talented. They will put one in the back of the net eventually. And they did that and then some, ultimately, in tonight's game. The other thing I wanted to touch on here in the first period a little bit before we move on. When you look at the Avs defensively tonight, I really don't think, I guess this goes beyond the first period, I really don't think they played much better defensively than they have been all year with some of the problems they've had. Certainly in the second period, you saw them give up breakaways, you saw them give up odd man rushes.
Yeah.
The difference is they got saves. That's it. It's not like the Avs defense suddenly figured it out. And it's been a problem for the year, but you had a guy who had a 950 instead of an 850 tonight. And it's incredible, not just the obvious effect of the saves keeping them in the game, but it's incredible how much confidence that gives the team in front of the guy.
And that's the key word right there. Numbers are numbers, like you just said. You know, they are what they are. But when you feel that, you got, what do you call them, the big Yeti?
The steady Yeti.
The steady Yeti. When you feel you got this, you need a T-shirt. You need a T-shirt. The steady Yeti bag there, it's amazing what it does. It's amazing the confidence it gives you. It's amazing what you're like, okay, guys, let's go help them out a little bit. And then all of a sudden you dig a puck behind the net and you make a pass to the front through 4 guys. You want to talk about leaky coverage? You know, we talk about all the goals against all the time against the Avs. Like, oh, my God. Again, you want to see leaky coverage? Look at some of those goals. There's some... There's a lot of holes in the hose there. So,
yep.
You know, it's every team. It's a game of mistakes. But when you get the goaltending, it gives you confidence. And then all of a sudden, you're like, let's go help them out. And I think this was a textbook game of that tonight. You knew they weren't going to be at their best. But, you know, somewhere, somehow, they found and they mustered up enough energy to create some goals, take a lead, a 3-0 lead. And again, steady Yetis right there. You're not going to lose many games if you give them a 3-0 lead.
And the full course of this game, at least at 5-on-5, it doesn't look as bad as it felt for the Colorado Avalanche. Corsi 51-57, so Avs just slightly on the wrong side of that. The actual scoring chances 24-23, slightly in the Avs' favor. High dangers 10-8 in the Avs' favor. So,
I felt Saros was good too.
No, I agree.
We tend to forget about
it. The Avs had
know.
Another couple of posts tonight. Saros made some very good saves. And the Avs ultimately were able to capitalize on opportunities better, and maybe something that hasn't happened often enough tonight. The guy in the crease, the better one, was in the Avs crease. So,
well said.
Is what it is. The underlines, while not perfect, are really describe a pretty close game that the Avs were able to win, and I don't think that tells the whole story, but it is worth noting. On to that note, though, I don't know. You think you can get service out in the woods?
Only if you're in Blackwood.
Tiff knows. You can certainly get it in any woods with Verizon. So go get yourself with Verizon. Don't just get the best network out there in the U.S. You also get a $200 Verizon e-gift card when you switch with Verizon and match up with select Ultimate Plus plans. Go get a Verizon today. They have, like I mentioned, the best service out there. Their 5G network will keep you going, whether you're out on vacation, wherever you might be, or if you're just sitting in traffic trying to stream to whatever it is you vibe with. Verizon has you covered, and they even have Verizon All Access, which can get you tickets to whatever type of event you're looking for. Verizon can get you in, whether it's behind the scenes or just in the stadium. Make sure you're hitting up Verizon today. And again, go get that $200 e-gift card, which will be delivered to you within 8 weeks of your purchase. Of course, it requires a device payment purchase, minimum retail price of $799.99, and port in with new smartphone line on postpaid, unlimited plus, or unlimited ultimate plan required. And once you can hear yourself on Verizon, make sure you're also living well. Go get with Live Well today. They are 25 different locations for cannabis here in Colorado, and all they want to do is get access for everybody to cannabis to make sure you're living well. Jump in with them. Their staff is always great. If you're new, they can teach you about whatever it is you're looking for. Maybe you want a rookie cookie. Maybe you want something a little bit more. Maybe you just want a pre-rolled joint. Whatever it is, they'll talk you through it, and they'll tell you what the right product is for you. So go get with them. And on all of their amazing products, if you go in store, you can get 25% off when you mention code DNVR off of one full price item. And if you want to make your life easier, you can schedule it for in-store pickup online at livewell.com. That's LIVWELL.com. Get with Live Well today. Once you've done all that, you get back into the second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. All right. Are 3 stars good to go? Cool. Let's do it. Let's just hit the 3 stars. Because there were a handful of standouts tonight. There's one guy that doesn't make this list that I also want to talk about. But star number 3, we kind of already touched on. Arturi Lehkonen. Look, the reality is, I don't care how good your best players are. You need the scoring around them to show up sometimes, too. And yeah, you know what? MacKinnon gets the huge goal to get you to 2-0. But it's Lehkonen that gets you that 3-0 goal. And you don't know it at the time, but that ends up being a huge goal, because you have those slip-ups later in the third that get it to 3-2. If you don't have that third goal, you're talking about a tie game. All of a sudden, your sticks are getting gripped. That's why you pay guys like Lehkonen good money to stick around.
And that's why he's a wanted man. That's why he's a wanted commodity around the league. And he's just a solid hockey player. Like I used to say that about Devon Toews. You want to teach someone how to play D, right? Show him Devon Toews. You want to teach someone how to play hockey? Tell them to follow Arturi Lehkonen. I don't know what's in the water in Finland or what's in the water in Sweden. Usually, Swedes and Finns are so smart. They're such smart hockey players since they were little. They come in here, there's not a lot of teaching. They already know the game. They already know how to play the game. They already know how to be effective with the game. Arturi Lehkonen has just been awesome since he's been back. And that's another guy that you don't realize how good they are until they're not there. You know what I mean, right? Like we talked about Sammy G last year, and you know this is a guy at the start of the year. You're like, oh god, I miss Lucky, right? Because all summer you talk about Val and Gabe, and then all of a sudden there's a rumor that Lucky might not be there at the start of the year. Then all of a sudden you find out it's gonna be more like 10 games. Then you're like, oh, okay, But then all of a sudden you get him back, and you're like, wow, is he good? So yeah, heck of a player.
Helps a lot. 2 goals, obviously one of them an empty net, but it's fun to watch when the Avs pieces put it all together. And yeah, it probably took 30 minutes into the night for them to start putting it together tonight, but at least they ultimately got the job done. Second star, Nathan MacKinnon, a 3-point night, monster of a human being that just, there are nights where he's just going to get it done for you, and you know it's going to happen. He had help around him. The first goal, that's an unbelievable play from Mikko Rantanen that we'll talk about a little bit more. But he's the guy who finishes it. He gets Saros to drop the glove, and he puts it up top. There are a lot of players. If Logan O'Connor's in that spot, that puck's going right into the glove, right? So Nathan MacKinnon, crucial finishing at the right moments for the Avs.
And the way we talk about the way you build a hockey team. Remember we talked about that earlier. You were saying that. I don't remember if it was on the air or off air, but
me either.
I don't remember. But anyway, we talked so much during the day. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I don't remember if it was during watch long, pregame, or
they talk a lot
during break. The way the Avs are built, he's coming through.
Yep.
Yeah, at some point, and people always talk about, how do you defend Nathan MacKinnon? And the coaches around, they will tell you the same thing all the time. You actually don't. You'll try to contain him. He's gonna get his
The dude
chances.
has a 6.9. He beats you that night. Like, yeah,
He's gonna get his chances. It doesn't matter what you do. He's gonna get his chances. He's gonna make plays. Mikko's gonna make plays. Makar's gonna make plays.
Yep.
They're gonna get to you. You're not gonna shut him down. Again, it does happen once in a while, but that's why we say the way the Avs are built, and they needed to fix their goaltending, and it sounds and it sure looks like they did. And when you do that, you let the big fella, you let the big dog go to work, and that's exactly what Nathan MacKinnon did on a couple plays tonight, especially, and also with the help of Mikko on that second goal. He does his best Valerie Natushkin impression. You know what I mean? Of hunting pucks and being a hunter, and then he strips away. I mean, again, you want to show a couple clips to your team. It's like, here's what not to do. You know what I mean? That was like so poorly played by the Nashville Predators. Just like the Ross Colton goal. Like, oh my Lord, the guy that defends like Casey Middlestad. Yeah. That's why I was looking at him right here. What's his name? Yeah. Willsby. It's almost a teaching moment to the rest of your team, and go, we don't defend like this. Look where your stick is. Look where look where your body is compared to the other guy. That's a slippery skill guy. Know who you're playing against. So yeah, lots of teaching moments tonight for the Predators on the defensive side of things.
There's a little bit of human nature here too, and the Avs will go out in front of every interview and tell you they feel like they're never out of a hockey game, even when they fall behind. But there's that little bit of subconscious thing, or the thing in the back of your mind of when you go down 2-0. It's a little bit harder to step up and make a great play. There's a little bit more pressure to, now I have to get this next goal. When it's 0-0 because your goalie has played great, Nathan MacKinnon cruising in on a play like that, it's all confidence. It's all drip from that guy. He knows he's about to put one in the back of the net to put the Avs up 2-0 instead of get them back into a game. And it just feels easier, better, however you want to put it.
And that's why the cream of the cream, right?
Yep.
I use it all the time. The cream always rises to the top. At some point, it will.
Do you know that Randy Savage interview? There's no way you know that Randy.
No.
Savage. Okay. I didn't.
WWF.
So. Yeah. The cream of the crop will rise to the top.
But he's right. Randy the Macho Man.
Yep.
Macho Man Savage. What a wrestler. Yeah. It just does rise to the top. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it is what it is. And you're not on most nights, MOST. You're not going to contain him. He's going to get his chances. And you just got to cross your fingers, hope that he hits the post, shoots wide, or, slips on something and falls down. Because he's going to get his chances.
And there's no doubt who the number one star was tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. It's the new guy, Mackenzie Blackwood. Posts a .950, makes 38 saves. I mean, that's monstrous stuff from a guy who had never played for the Avs before, who is being ushered in as the upgrade, the guy who's supposed to fix the position for the Colorado Avalanche. And we've talked a lot. He does not have to be great most nights. Most nights he's not going to have to do this. Tonight the Avs needed it, and he showed up and got it done.
And again, I'm going to go back to a little bit what we said earlier. It couldn't have been a better night for him, because the Avalanche are a little bit under the weather, so they're not playing their best puck possession period, for example, in the first period like they usually do. I'm talking about shots and chances against. It wasn't that bad, like Rudo said, but it gave him an opportunity to feel good about himself, to feel good about his game. Now, with that said, it gave the team an opportunity to regroup and make sure that they will go find their game and that they will go make that play. And we ended up being, Casey to Ross to break the game open. And then obviously, we just talked about it, the cream gets a couple chances. But in order to do that, it's a winning combo, because goaltending calms the waters down. Goaltending gives you confidence. Goaltending gives you wings. And then next thing you know, after that, you're playing a 3-0 game. For the most part, he's making saves after that. I call them 3-0 saves, because it's an easier save to make, because it's not 1-1. It's not 0-0. It's not, you're not up by one goal. And then it just kind of let himself feel and have a game where the adrenaline kicked in all game long. He's proud to be an Avalanche. He wants to, prove them right. and he wants to prove to everybody that he is a good teammate. He is a capable goaltender, and who wouldn't want to be the goalie for the Colorado Avalanche? Coming down the stretch here after the new year, and with everything that the lineup that they can ice, it doesn't get any better than that. And MacKinnon, he answered the bell tonight. You got to give him an A+, for everything. And it's nerve-wracking to play in front of new fans, nerve-wracking to play in front of new teammates and new management team. And he certainly lived up to the hype tonight. I thought it was awesome, and I think there's a lot more to come for him.
I don't know if this is a perk or a punishment for playing with the Avs, but he did get the big hat tonight in the locker room. He got talked to by everybody, so here's what Mackenzie Blackwood had to say.
First game with the team, just how did it feel?
It was great, tough week. All right, I'll put it on.
You do what Kale says.
Tough first week coming here under the weather. Didn't skate much, but that was a great game to get a part of, and I'm so thankful that we can come out with a win on the first one.
How did it feel hearing your name being chanted by the crowd?
Yeah, you got to appreciate that. That feels great. So hopefully you can continue to play well in front of them.
Is it nice to be on this side of the Nathan MacKinnon stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I was watching that down there, just going, I'm thankful that I'm not on that end of it anymore.
I don't know if there are any nerves in a game like that. First game in the building. Seeing a lot of shots and getting a lot of action early.
Yeah, I think whenever you get a lot of shots, it just gets you involved in the game. Sometimes when you're not getting too many, can be challenging to keep yourself engaged. But I think that was a good game to start off with, and hopefully we can build on it.
Are there adjustments for you as a goalie playing behind a new system, or are you just going out there to stop the puck?
I just go out there to try and stop the puck, but there's things that they give up that's different than the team that I used to play on. So I'm just getting used to the tendencies of where the shots are coming from, and what I'm looking for now versus what I was before.
Whenever Scott got here, he said it was nice to be on the other side of this team doing the offensive things that they were doing. But halfway through this game, were you wondering when that was going to show up?
No, I've seen it too many times where there's nothing, and then they just have an outpouring of goals. So when you play on a team like this, you just have to be patient, and they're going to come.
Last game, Coach said that the energy was pretty low. I'm sure you saw that from the bench. Coming into this game, how did you feel as far as your energy and really kind of helping the team keep their energy up as well?
Yeah, honestly, I know this might sound weird, but I've been a little bit sick, so my energy's been low. So I'm trying to force it a little bit, but just getting in the game, getting a lot of shots, and getting right into it helped kind of get my legs under me and start to feel part of the game.
Nice. Thank you.
So there you have it. Even from the steady Yeti's mouth, sickness been going around, and the Avs battled through it tonight. Him especially found a way to get the job done. Really impressive debut for him. Look, in the grand scheme, I don't think your first game is really all that important, but it certainly feels better when the guy you traded for, when you guy went out and bet it all on, shows up and has a game like that to start.
Yeah, and like I said, he said it the other day. One of his favorites or whatever team growing up was the Avalanche. Favorite player was Joe Sakic.
Yep.
Joe's got C-Mac's the general manager here. That's not what I'm saying, but it's a group effort, and they identify, they make decisions, they go after, like they've always done this organization as a group, and you want to go and show that you can do it, and it was the right play. You don't want to prove people wrong. You want to prove people right.
Yep.
And again, that's like a different mindset. And I think that, like he said, you just think of it this way. When you feel sick, like I said to you the other day, like my wife was wanting to kick me. I was under the weather, and all I wanted to do was just crawl up in bed, hug a pillow, and watch some Netflix right there and have some hot water with lemon. And, you feel like doing nothing. And you're going to say, those are professional athletes. Yeah, I don't care what you are. When you're under the weather, you're under the weather. And it's tough to go out there and perform at the highest level that you're supposed to do and have some results. So he said it. It's been tough for himself. His energy's been low. But again, for him, I think it was the adrenaline that kicked in, and you can only have a first impression once, right? He certainly nailed it, and I think that he has nothing to look back on, and I think he can go to bed happy tonight, and he's going to have his energy tomorrow, because that's going to give him some energy, and on top of actually feeling better after putting that cold behind you or whatever it is that he's feeling.
Well, if you're looking for results, I was talking to Tiff before our post game. Betting on the over and saves for an Avs goalie is back on the menu with Bet365. Make sure you're getting over to Bet365 with code DNVR365. You get $150 in bonus bets. It's just for betting $5 on anything with the DNVR365 code. Whether it's betting on Avs games and betting on Mackenzie Blackwood to make the saves he needs to, or betting on anything, whether it be the Nuggets, against the Nuggets, the Broncos, Bo Nix. You bet money on Travis Hunter to win the Heisman, you cashed in tonight. So there's an option too. Whatever it is, do it with Bet365 and the DNVR365 code. Of course, when you do, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And once you've got your bets down on the game, you might actually want to go to the game. That's where Game Time comes in. You can get with Game Time today and join over 15 million people that use Game Time to get their tickets. They guarantee you the best price, too. So Game Time is fantastic. Even if they're out of town, Game Time has the whole country covered for all of your events. If you use the Game Time Picks system, you get the best tickets for the best prices. They filter out all the junk you don't want, so you only get what you're looking for. And that even includes things like the theater, concerts, it's the symphony, you name it. If there's an event, Game Time's got tickets for it for you. So go check them out today. Go to the link down in the description to download the Game Time app and use code DNVR to get $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. What time is it? Is Game Time, baby. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I do want to talk a little bit more about one more player, but before we do that, we have the voice of Jared Bednar coming in. He sounded sick at pregame skate. Let's see how he sounds after the game.
Okay, go ahead.
Coach, thoughts on Blackwood's first game?
Thought he was outstanding. Yeah. I mean, just complete control of the game for me with him. Much like I talked about game management, held on to every first shot they got, dangerous or not dangerous. He's held on to it, slowed the game down for us. We gave up. I mean, the first period was sort of brutal hockey, I felt like, from both teams. Low event, didn't seem like there was lots going on. He made the saves he needed to make. I think they probably had a couple better chances than we had, but start of the second period when we were having those breakdowns, he was huge. Keeps it right where we needed to be, and then I thought our team really started to get going. 8-9 minutes left in the second period, and then we played pretty well.
Is there anything unique about his height that makes things different?
His height?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. When a 6'4" goalie goes into a butterfly, you're trying to shoot at this. When a 5'10" goalie goes into a butterfly, you've got that. That's what makes it unique. So you goalie, same skill level, bigger, smaller, you're taking the bigger goalie 100 times out of 100.
Is there anything weird or different to you about just the way he's built? He seems to be a bigger goalie.
Yeah, he's a big man, you know. The thing is, it's not just his size. Obviously he's got great ability and moves really well in the net. And tonight he managed the game perfectly.
Do you see a difference in maybe the confidence level of the guys playing in front of him right now?
I don't know. It's one game. Yeah, I wasn't in love with our game. Like, it wasn't a masterpiece, but we played well enough to get the 2 points, especially the way he played. He was a big part of it.
Does the fact that him and Scott have, this is the third different team that they played on over the course of like 7 or 8 years, does that matter at all to you guys? Like, that they have a kind of a long-standing relationship?
It matters to me that they get along and that they support one another and that they're good teammates for one another and they can lean on one another when things are going bad. They can ask each other for advice. Like that, your goalie partner is your best goalie coach. You know, they get to know one another. I don't care that if that relationship is 2 days old, a week old, or it's been going for 10 years. I just think they have to be really good teammates to one another and each other's support and sounding board, because they're together more than the goalie coach is going to be with either one of them.
You referenced 9 minutes left in the second period. when you guys started to kind of come on? Just what do you think switched?
Well, we got more tenacious and relentless on our puck pressure. Kind of simplified it a little bit more, and we played with more energy, more juice. You know, like we didn't change anything. We reinforced some things, like in a couple timeouts after the first period. But I'm not making excuses for our team. I didn't love the game. I thought we were going to be much better than what we were. But I did talk to a handful of guys, and they're just not feeling well. You know, OC was puking after the first period, and he played a hell of a game. But when you're not feeling well and you're not energized, you're not going to play that great. You know, we're not the only team going through it. I read today that Vancouver left a couple of guys home this morning from the rink. I don't know if any of them missed the game, but when it hits one or two guys, it spreads to 8 or 10 quickly. So hopefully we're feeling better again next game. We can kind of continue to build on what we've been doing here.
With that said, I spoke with Colton and asked him kind of the same thing, that the team, you guys, obviously the energy and whatever's going through the room, but what does it mean for them, that work ethic, to find that energy and dig deep to? Yeah,
well, I mean, we were hoping it was going to come because we just didn't have it early, and part of it is when you're. Part of it's mental too, the execution for our team to start. I thought our D had a rough first period. They beat the crap out of the puck, and we couldn't advance the puck past their forecheck, and so that's on us. But you get in the game a little bit more, you get warmed up, whatever, you start to feel a little bit better, forget about it a little bit because the game's moving on, and then we started to play much better. You know, once our D started delivering the puck on time to our forwards, I didn't see. It's not major changes, but it's a touch here, it's a touch there. Instead of playing in the offensive zone, you're playing in the defensive zone. You're on your heels a little bit. So, again, the game wasn't fantastic, but it takes a lot of grit, determination, want, and will, whatever you want to say, to just stick with it and then kind of find your game eventually. And that's what Blackwood did for me tonight. He gave us a really good chance to find our game, because that game could have been ugly, by the 30-minute mark.
There's still a lot of season left, but with how he's playing on the wing, is it getting harder to kind of envision Colton going back to center?
Yeah, I like the centers that we have right now, so I think he's more productive on the wing. Again, just depends on who's in our lineup and who's out and where we need him. He has the ability to do both, but right now I'm just thinking wing for now.
We talk about Ross Colton. He's had 2 goals in his 5 games back.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he maybe wasn't feeling 100%.
Yeah, he didn't look like he had a bunch of energy tonight, compared to even the first game he got back. That's the thing too. You train, and every player will tell you. You come back and you can get through a game or 2 on adrenaline. You've been out for a long time. You're excited, and then all the bumps and bruises and aches and pains start to come back to you because you haven't taken contact in a month. And the conditioning part of it is one thing to get ready for one game, but then to be ready every second night and tough road trip and all that, and still be able to maintain it, that can catch up to you a little bit. So he's still working through that, but he still makes an impact, right? He scores a big goal for us tonight to get us on the board, and played pretty well and kept battling and got better as the game went on, same as our team. So it's good to see.
Last few ones with heck of a pass from Casey on that goal. I know when we talked to you a couple weeks ago, you said you need to see him moving his feet more. Just your thoughts?
Well, I thought he played hard tonight, Casey, again. They've been better, right, since Colton got back, and it's Val, and it's a couple of veteran wingers that can make plays and that have some grit to their game to get to the net. He's been better. But that play in particular, I mean, you're fighting off a guy on a cycle for quite some time, and, we had a lot of guys do that. It's just the ability to then make that pass, with the split second when he escapes the guy, to be able to lay it in there, a perfect forehand one-timer into the slot while he's beating a second guy that's coming. I mean, that's not easy to do, and he's one of the guys on our team that can do it. We have a handful, and that can be the difference in the hockey game right there. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Don't we have a time here?
We have a perfect timing actually working out here, as that was Jared Bednar's comments. We have our man in the arena as well, Gismo, calling in on an Avalanche win and a Mackenzie Blackwood statement. Hey, look, they were chanting Blackwood's name at the end of the game, Giz. You have to feel like there's something there.
Oh, they were chanting Blackwood's name all game. The Blackwood chants came up multiple times. So for me, I mean, listen, what more do you want from the guy? 39 saves, I believe. Just played out of his mind. Good.
Yep.
He's awesome. He I tell you, was it 40? 37 saves. Pardon me. I got my
close enough.
Billy's filling me in. But listen, that's an incredible performance. It's an incredible statement. You saw the way that the guys played in front of him. Everything about that makes me very, very happy. And I think that the Avs faithful were well aware of it also. Every time he made a save in the first few minutes of the game, he literally got a standing ovation.
Moving beyond just Blackwood, how much credit do the Avs get for the guts tonight? As we just listened to Bednar saying, some of those guts ended up on the floor of the locker room. So,
listen, buddy, I'm glad he said it because I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say it, but they are sick. I mean, every single guy in that room is under the weather right now, pretty much. I mean, with the exception of a few, but that's a gutsy effort tonight. I mean, you heard Bedsy talk about Logan O'Connor puking between periods. I mean, hockey players are built differently. I mean, they show up, they grind that one out. You could tell they were petering off a little at the end there, right? Nashville sensed it, stepped on it. But the moment that happened, they just kind of got right back on the horse. That's a pretty, the thing of it was, it's a great win for them. It wasn't a great executed game by them, right? Blackwood had to be huge, and he made a ton of saves, and he really controlled the game and settled things in. He would want some things probably a little bit differently defensively.
For sure.
Tonight, I think they got a little bit out of the flow. I think numbers got a little skewed there, but again, everybody's a little bit under the weather, including coach.
Yeah, you could hear it in Bednar's presser. The voice sounded a little rough for him even. So
yeah.
I do think the Avs deserve a lot of credit there for they kind of needed a win tonight in some respects, but to battle through that, no one would have blamed them if things didn't go their way. And a lot of that does fall back on Blackwood, of course, for keeping them in the game. But ultimately, it's a flu game. You have a new goalie in net. Guess what? It's your superstars that show up and put up the production. A Nathan MacKinnon 3-point night and the guys around the top six that get the job done.
And something else that's fun for me and something special, and I'm only going to touch on it because Bednar touched on the fact that Wedgwood and Blackwood are good. They're friends.
Yeah.
There's a great relationship there. There's a literal friendship there. They've been on the same team. They've been goalie partners before. Eric can speak to it. His son Max is one of the best goalie teammates that I've ever seen or I've ever coached, right? Always up, always patting on the boards, always pumping his guy up, whether he got the start or not. That's what you've got between these two guys right now. We went into the locker room and everybody went over to Blackwood to do the interview first. He was the first one that all the media surrounded. And Wedgie sits on the opposite, just across from him, but on the other side of the room. And, was sitting there smiling the entire interview at everything that Blackwood said, and chiming in a little bit, and those two were just having a little fun back and forth, and you can tell it's a great bond, and that radiates throughout the room. Those two guys' personality radiates throughout the room. This, we're going to talk about it a few times this season, probably a lot in the spring. This was a masterful trade by CMAC to acquire both of these guys, because not only did he know the goaltending tandem they were, he knows the history of them together. He knows the friendship. He knows he needed solidarity in net. He knows he needed good goaltending in net, and he knows he needed an injection of something in his room, and he checked every single box. This trade looks better and better every single time I see one of these guys play.
I got a couple words of advice here for you, TB12.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Did you see that pass I threw in the second quarter?
Yes. Again, I'm still looking for Giselle, but whatever.
She's right here. She's here. Baby, come here. Say hi to E.
Yeah.
Lacroix.
Yeah.
He played in the NHL. Hockey.
Yeah, great dude. Tell her I say hi.
She's making, she's making me a drink. She says, I love you, babe. Okay.
They've been divorced, but that's fine. My words of advice here for UTB12 is more, you know what? Wash your hands tonight. You've been in that locker room. Tomorrow, get some vitamin C. Get a little bit of water with lemon. And, this is the season. This is the time of year that not only you have to be weary of injuries, that can be grueling for a team, because of the schedule, but also with obviously sicknesses, that disease that can go around the locker room. And it sounds like, there's a little bit of bug going on. So please take care of yourself tomorrow.
What am I going to do? I don't have my partner around. I don't know. I'm not going to be. I can't fend for myself.
I know. I won't be there to cook. You know what I mean? But it's all good.
What am I gonna do?
What are we gonna do with my hands?
Elite sandwiches last night were made. That's all I'll say.
As the Avs head back on the road after this one, they split the homestand 1-1. Are the vibes still good? Are we still confident in this hockey team, especially now that we've gotten a real look at Blackwood?
Overly confident, fully confident, 100% confident in my mind. This is a different hockey team now. It's a different hockey team, completely. So, and you're not even fully healthy yet, right?
Yeah.
And now you're sick a little bit. So for me, I mean, we're real confident. I mean, they could really use some home cooking for a while and not this back and forth. They're dreading the road. There's no doubt about it. It's not as long of a trip, but they're dreading the road. And when you don't feel good, tomorrow they technically have the day off. They've got their team, holiday party.
Yep.
And then they'll go right to the airport. So at least they won't be putting hockey gear on tomorrow. But yeah, fully confident in this team. But we got to let's just get through December here and then just settle in on what seems to have a little bit more of a normalcy look to the schedule after this.
Couple more hard weeks of work left. Any final thoughts on this one, Giz?
Loved it. No, loved it. Crowd loved it. Crowd knew the assignment, understood the assignment, completed it. Blackwood, the same. Would have loved for him to have gotten the shutout.
He deserved it for sure.
Coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, all in, just an absolute wonderful game. Fun. Most fun I've had covering the team this year.
I like fun. Fun hockey is good. I'm here for this.
I did. I got to throw this out there, though. I did. And, Ross Colton and I did talk about it. He made the comment that I probably deserved the fourth assist on that goal of his, because
talk to him again.
As it stands, if I talk to Ross Colton the pregame morning skate, he scores a goal that night. So we finished the presser, and he came up to me and he was like, "Holy shit, Gismo! Yes, you got to make sure you interview me every game." And I was like, "We can do that. I'm happy to do that." You're gonna need to get a Gismo assist reference in, though.
Worked out, Gismo. Thank you for calling in, chat. We appreciate you too. You got us winners shots, so we can make Gismo a little jealous in the green room back there. Cheers. Thank you very much for the 100 likes as I spill a little bit here. Winter shots are good. They're the good stuff right there. Before we start to wrap things up, make sure you're staying in constant contact. That is the way to go right now. Look, everybody is coming down to the end of the year. It's time to start analyzing how you've done on the season, how you've done at work, whether you're hitting your goals, whether you have all of the tools you need to hit your goals. So make sure you get with Constant Contact right now, because they have what it takes to help you meet your goals faster than you're already doing it. So go check them out. They have all sorts of different great tools, whether it be email or a ton of other options that are made to fast track your success. You can jump on. You can own the smartphone by adding texting to your marketing strategy too. Whatever it is, Constant Contact has all the automation, integration, and reporting tools that get your marketing running seamlessly. So it's time to put the go in your business as we head towards 2025 with email, social, SMS, and customized marketing campaigns built for you in just a few clicks. Ready, set, go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity and start your free trial today. That's ConstantContact.com/AllCity for your free trial. And once you've taken care of your work and done your business, It's time to crack open a Breck Brew, the craft beer of DNVR. You can get the Breck Brew Avalanche right here at the bar for $2 off during Avs games. So come on down and give yourself some. If you like beer of any kind, they have dozens of flavors, something for everyone. The DNVR holiday party always has some Christmas ale kegs from Breck Brew, which are always a hit. So go give it a try anywhere in the United States. You can use breckbrew.com to find it near you with the Breck Beer locator there. They also have dope merch if that's your thing. So go check that out too, Breckenridge Brewery. Final period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast here. There are two things specifically I want to touch on. One, Mikko Rantanen.
Yep.
I really liked his game for a lot of reasons tonight. Let me read you a couple of stat lines. Mikko on the night, 3 assists, +4. His possession numbers aren't great, but they are better than players like Nathan MacKinnon's. About a 45% Corsi 4 percentage, but 2 goals for, 0 against when it's 5-on-5. He did pick up a couple of cheap empty net points. Cool. I get that. You don't want to give him too much credit. But ultimately, 5 high danger chances for and only 2 against. Was he the perfect player the entire game? No. Did he generate good chances? Yes, including some off of his stick that he fired. And frankly, the second goal is entirely created by him. He's the guy who pressures the forecheck. He's the guy who takes that puck away, and he's the guy who slips the pass to Nathan MacKinnon to set up the play entirely. Yeah, the third point on the extra empty net goal is cheap, but the second one matters. Nashville just scored 2 goals on you 5 minutes ago. That empty net goal is important. I know it's not a difficult play, but if you don't get that goal, maybe Nashville ties this game up. You don't know.
It's a very important point you just made. I'm a firm believer your best players go on the ice on an empty net because of the reason that you just said. They can pick up pucks and make plays, and then the puck's in the other net all the way down, 200 feet down the ice.
Yep.
It matters where you have a bottom of the lineup guy that does not have the same set of skill set or whatever the skill sets, and then you shoot wide or they play you differently, the opposition, because they know, they respect MacKinnon, Rantanen skills, and that's why they get a lot of empty net goals. I'm saying the Avalanche score a lot of empty net goals usually. I mean, I don't know how it is compared. That's the team we cover. It just feels that they do hit it, they do nail it every time the net's empty, and hence the record of usually closing out games after the second period. You know, it gives you some empty nets that way. But you're right, Mikko Rantanen's a horse. He's a moose. He hunted that puck. He can make plays. Yeah, I really like his game. And again, you don't trade a Mikko Rantanen because you're going to be chasing him for the next 15 years. And those are not players that you find on every tree, on every street. Those are special, elite players. You're lucky to have guys like that in Denver here. You have at least 3 of them. They're not replaceable. They're irreplaceable.
And I just gave him a ton of credit. However, dumb penalty in that third period.
He'll give you that one. You know?
Can't be doing this.
He's a moose. He's a donkey at times.
And fine, if the Avs hadn't had that problem for what feels like 5 games in a row now, where in the third period they're taking a penalty that is just a tough one to stomach.
And this one they didn't call it because they didn't have to, because they scored on
they
6.
scored on the delay.
Technically, it doesn't count as a power play goal, but it was a goal with an extra man out there.
Yep. There are plenty of other problems on that play. Sam Girard gets walked to the middle of the ice. It's a lot of bad there. And I did want to touch on the couple of negatives really quick. The one negative I really feel is Mackenzie Blackwood deserved a shutout tonight, 100%. That dude played out of his mind. The Avs defense let him down in the middle of that third period. We just talked about the second one. The first one, blown coverage. The defensive structure falls apart with both Girard and DeHaan in behind their own goal line, and then Casey Middlestat sleeping on the back door.
Yeah. He almost got it.
It's a great win. The Avs are sick. I'm not too worried about digging in too deep onto the underlying stuff tonight, but I think you can look at those 2 plays and pretty quickly go, yeah, just fix this and we're good.
Oh, I got no problems. I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about it, not offline, but yeah, it was right before the show. You're going to see the opposition getting a little bit more shots against the Avalanche, because I do believe that the Avalanche are going to take a lot of leads now, not fall behind like they have so many times at the start of this season. And once we know that, there's a little bit of a human nature side of things where the other team's going to have a push. And this is where you're going to see that having a goaltender like Blackwood and having a goaltender like Wedgwood, he did well with some shot volumes too, the few times he's been in, and it's going to make a difference. And again, you have elite players. If you add that to solid goaltending, which they've been missing for a while now, and everyone knew that that's what the missing ingredient was, they addressed it, they went and got it, they went and fixed it, not only once, but twice in a matter of a week.
Yeah. Chat making a good point on the negatives. The power play, again, goes 0 for tonight. All I'll say about that is come on Monday, don't be surprised if they're back to the normal guys on power play 1. I'll put it to you that way.
It's like everything else. It just makes you, you start like searching for things that,
that aren't there.
But for me, you go back to basics.
Yep.
Go back to your main guys. Go back to a shooting power play is a productive power play. So go back with that mentality. Get away from that stupid little pass there. Like, I get it. It's cute and everything, Let's get away from that. Get back to meat and potatoes, and then we'll cultivate some goals on the power play. And then all of a sudden you can go back to your little stupid little pass there in the middle. And then it's going to look great.
And just to say that, and yeah, through the first 2 periods, the Avs did not possess the puck well enough. That's totally fair. I think there is a lot of context there with them being sick. And you know what? They didn't play their best game and they won. Good teams do that pretty often. So you take it where you can get it on that front. I do think we have one super chat to get to here. $5 from Jasper, who says, the vibes are good and the smiles are back. The boys look like they are having fun again. Cheers to the dog for the achievement. Yeah, Nathan MacKinnon passing Michel Goulet on the all-time franchise leaderboard. He's also the first player to hit 50 points on the season. So, dude's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, is he the leading scorer in the NHL?
He might be. Something like that.
That's awesome.
All right. Any final thoughts on this one, Eric, before we wrap this bad boy up and get out of here?
No, I'm just honestly puts a smile on my face. And the regular season is a grind. It's a grueling schedule. The National Hockey League is a tough, whatever it is, 6-7 months. And the last few days, as you saw in Denver, for a couple home games, you saw a little bit of a dead team from a schedule, and then you saw and not come out on top. And then tonight you saw a banged up team, not only on injuries, but on obviously guys puking their guts out in between periods. But you saw them come through, because of what we said, the cream rises to the top and goaltending. You add those two things together, magic can happen on any given night. And I think you're going to see that a lot more. They're coming up here in the last, 40 some games of the season.
Eric had a 5-1 final tonight. Pretty darn close, buddy.
Close. I had a Kiviranta goal.
Yeah, he didn't hit the Kivy goal. No. Didn't hit the Kivy goal, but you know what? Still a good game, even if the first was a bit, the rest of the game was good. We are going to wrap this thing up, though. We appreciate everyone hanging out. We're off tomorrow, but we'll be back, of course, on Monday to cover the game, pregame, postgame, watch-along, which, buckle up, get your coffee going, an 8:30 start. It's going to be a late one for everybody, so that one could get interesting, but we do appreciate all y'all hanging out with us, as always. Of course, go check out all of our other content, too, if you want to check out written content. AJ has you covered over on the DNVR.com. Gismo should have a bunch of stuff up on the socials if you want to see things like game grades and stuff like that. And later tonight, I will have my review video, too, breaking down why the Predators are bad or something. I don't know exactly. We appreciate y'all, and we will talk to you on the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.